We love
When
hip
you're talking
hop.
to people out there, do they know right away that you're from Canada?
I'm a pretty good code switcher.
Mm.
So it's like,
You're talking like an American out there?
I don't think I mean, you
I
guys,
feel like you sound like an American right now a
yeah,
little bit.
you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I sound super Toronto regardless.
That's fair.
Maybe a little,
Tutus?
bit, but I don't think I sound like super. So
No,
like,
no tutu is my word.
I don't.
Now, you do sound like a little American, and I was like, maybe it's because he just came back from Atlanta, so he has an accent fresh in
Nah.
his memory. But
Nah, they could.
even
They
in
could.
general, though, you don't.
They
sound
could
too Toronto.
tell. They could tell if they know about Toronto, or they could tell that I'm not from there.
Mm.
But yeah, I feel like I have a generalized accent regardless.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's American. It's just like
It's just
Default.
Yeah.
default.
Like I
default.
could probably go on CNN and do okay.
Yeah. You don't know if it's like Ryan Reynolds and them man there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm
You
not
don't
trying to say like you sound like
Yeah.
a white guy because you don't. You
I
know
don't-
what
yeah, I
I'm saying?
don't think so.
I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's a thing, right? But like you don't sound American, but you don't sound Canadian.
It's
you
like
know
a
what I'm saying?
neutral ass accent.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's like-
I sound like Drake in 2007. Before he's like, all right, okay, it's safe to be from Toronto again.
No, because I feel like Drake kind of leaned in a little bit. Like,
Do you
with
think
the
so early?
southernness.
Oh,
He
in
had
the southernness, he did it too much.
a
You
little
think in
bit
the
with the
beginning?
southern accent. He kind of leaned into it a little bit.
Oh, word.
You know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
as like he's not as Toronto as now. You're
Yeah.
more very like
Just neutral.
neutral.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you know the Canadian accent, the quote unquote quintessential Canadian accent, the a boot or what up, they're buds. Come on, buds. Like
Yeah, man.
those are like when people say a Canadian accent, because
Yo, my coworkers were like disappointed when they saw me. They're like, "Yo, you could come on, just sound a little bit more Canadian." I'm like, "It's all I got."
that's what they're talking about, though. You
Now
know
I
what I'm-
could put it on, of course. I used to do like, I guess maybe you guys have talked about it ad nauseum, but I used to do like the Toronto accent skits and stuff back in the day. And they went pretty viral, but it's like I didn't really super talk like that at home.
yeah.
And so it's funny how like Marlon's roasting those guys for like putting it on TikTok and not sounding like that at home. I'm African. I didn't sound like that at home.
Sorry, sound effects.
So you're saying that like it's not as much cultural appropriation as it is. Okay, well, like what's your what are you trying to draw from
What
it?
are you saying? What do you mean by that?
So let me give it to you like this, right? And sorry, I haven't caught up in the past couple of weeks, but have you guys talked about like that?
We
whole-
talked about it, but
that whole
I'm down to talk
controversy?
about it again. Them
Talk
clips
about
go
it.
crazy. Let's
Talk
do
about
it.
Friday, like, cha-ching.
Toronto accent war. I'm already thinking of the title.
And he's
So-
pro Soraya and them. And I'm
hold on.
anti-Soraya
Don't
and them.
do that. I'm not completely pro. I'm not anti.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let the youths them live. Let them get their shit off.
Right.
Because like what you're saying, I'm sure they don't talk like that all the time, but like
Mhm.
they're trolling. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, I would never want to be like an old bitter guy, and that's what you don't want to sound like. And I totally understand, but I want to hear from your perspective because you're Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hear from your perspective first. Like when these Gen Z TikTokers caricaturize the Toronto accent or Toronto slang, and 90% of it is derived from Jamaican culture, do you get offended?
Not necessarily offended, but it just reminds me of like some Sambo type thing where mans are kind of like making a mockery of the culture rather than celebrating the culture. Because Jamaicans are like, they embrace other cultures a lot, you know what I mean? So when mans are genuine and pure, Jamaicans embrace that, you know? So like, just to see mans going around and they're monetizing off the mockery of black culture is just kind of like a double spit in the face, you know?
Yeah. I totally get it. And I feel like these Gen Z TikTok kids do go further than I did when it was, I guess, 2018, 2019 on Instagram.
yeah.
Because the way I would play it up is like certain situations and caption it, you know, so people would know that I'm caricaturizing it,
Yeah.
you know? But people on TikTok that are American and see that happen, they think that's real. They think that's like,
Yeah, they're simulating real interactions, you know?
But
Exactly.
why
So
do they think it's real?
Because there's no, like, back in the days how like Instagram had like the big white bar at the top and you knew it was a meme and they're like, I don't know, when a hood man gets pressed or something like that. And then the skit would happen. You know that it's a certain situation and you're just acting.
Yes.
But most of the content that I see from TikTok, generation, whatever, they're just on a podcast like this, or people walk up to them in a mall or something, and then they turn it on and act as if that's how they really talk.
Right.
And that's not the case. I think that's a subtle difference between both eras of content.
And they have like the people being interviewed, they have them putting it on as well. Where like they're simulating, this is like, I found a random person.
Yeah.
And then this person being interviewed just has a crazy Toronto accent when it's like this whole thing is planned, you know?
Yeah, and I think the previous generation, when they would make content around the Toronto accent, it was thoughtful, it was witty, there was like a storyline, it was like more clever, whereas now it's like, two is my, like you're just saying, it's not even a joke, there's no punchline, like it's just like you're just saying words, whereas before it's like there'd be a skit and then you're reacting like a quintessential Toronto man would or whatever, so it was more thoughtful in that sense.
Because like, let's be real, like before Official Plush or City Boy JJ was going viral globally.
This guy's calling names. Let's go, man. I like it.
I really don't mind because I don't think I'm saying anything offensive. I'm just saying how it is. Before they were going viral for the way that they talk, it's, it sounds crazy to Americans and then it gets pushed further and they know what they're doing.
Right.
They know what they're doing. Like, I don't mind that you're doing what you're doing, but you know what you're doing. The difference is when like Toronto guy Cody, 7-8 years ago was doing his thing. It's like when he was doing, I don't know, like when
the voiceover.
Yeah, the voiceovers.
Those are good.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, SpongeBob,
Yeah.
Like people knew that he was joking around. I've been on the street and been confused for Toronto guy Cody because he never showed his face.
Yeah.
But I never got no hate for that. And I'm sure he didn't get no hate for that either to the level that these kids are getting now.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
he got more love than anything.
More love than anything.
Yeah.
But I feel like one thing that our generation, I'll call it the millennials, are getting a little bit wrong is that they're piggybacking off of Marlon's valid point, and your valid point as well, of the fact that they're caricaturizing a Toronto slang or a Toronto accent that's making fun predominantly of Jamaican culture. They're piggybacking off of that to turn it into like new gen versus old gen thing.
Yeah, old heads versus young YNs.
It's not what it is. It's not what it is. It's specifically how this generation in Toronto is doing something that they don't like, and some people are doing it in a good way. Some Gen Z kids are doing it in a great way, but it's a specific cohort of people that are Gen Z that are doing something that are blowing up more than kids that are being genuine about how they actually talk and how they actually move. So now people are being like, I'm seeing people piggybacking off it in a weird way.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to land the point by saying this. Marlon, City Boy JJ, people like that have to get together on a podcast platform or in a content space and give the people what they want. I don't know why we're dividing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm watching that.
Yeah, you'd be watching that.
Yeah.
And so many people, even though they're hating on either side right now, would watch it too.
Yeah.
And I tagged Marlon in the story. I'm like, yo, both of you guys got to get on a platform right now and duke it out. So I feel like that's the natural conclusion to all of this.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think that'll be fruitful, and I think it can happen without violence.
But I do find it interesting that, you were saying that like when you would do the skits, you weren't speaking like that at home either, right?
No.
So it's obviously more of like, if, in that sense, then if he's accusing them of cultural appropriation, then like he'd have to like be consistent and be like, oh, even like an African person who's not Jamaican using that, you know what I'm saying? But he did specify brown youths. And I can understand that because he did allude to, experiences where he wouldn't be allowed in certain, brown kids' houses. And like the brown community exhibits a lot of racism towards Black people. But what I didn't like is that he's like, your parents are racist. But like, what does that have to do with them? Like, I feel like the next generation, if anything, they're probably way less racist than their parents. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, you can't blame me if my parents are racist. Like, I had nothing to do with their upbringing. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
breaking the cycle.
I think his point when he says your parents are racist is that he's saying that like you have been taught things subconsciously that are like ignorant or have like hints of racism that you don't even realize that you're doing.
Mhm.
And because that you maybe grew up in a racist household, that like all of this is seeped in your subconscious and it's like pouring out and you don't even realize that it's forwarding on the screen, you know?
Yeah, we realized that with some women that I don't know if you date with them or talk to them at all, but you know, non-black women, they might be cool with you, but it won't really go that far. Or if it does go that far, you'll feel the negative effects of it because you know that their whole lineage doesn't like you.
Yeah. I dealt with a few white girls. I haven't like dated any white girls.
Fuck white, just non-black.
That is true. But even with white girls, like I just feel like culturally, like I just was never able to connect with them in a certain way that I could with like a black woman, you know?
Yeah. And that's based on how they grew up.
Exactly.
I just don't think like if he's like getting at these kids and saying, yo, your parents were racist, your parents wouldn't let us in the cribs. And it's like, I'm sure like the kid of those racist parents, like, yo, mom, I just want my friend to come over. Like, what do you mean he's black? He can't come over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then obviously if these parents are super racist, but they see their kids still influenced by black culture. So the kids are choosing to rebel against their parents' racism. If they really were like their parents, they'd go the opposite direction. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine they're like, you know what, your friend can't come over. You know, you're right, mom, he black.
Yeah, like, you know what? Then you can get at the kid. Now the kid is like directly like the parents, you know? But I feel like in a lot of the cases of like, you know, first generation or second generation where their parents are racist, but then like the kids aren't, now the kids are like getting different influences. So obviously they're not going to speak like that at home, and they know their parents still feel a certain way.
Yeah.
But then they're hanging out with, you know, in like more like urban settings or like with more black people or whatever, you know? So I don't know. I feel like the kids are kind of trying to help break the curse, but they can't be like bastardizing a culture either. Because when I compare it to like if everyone was using Turkish slang or Turkish music and like bastardizing it and like not showing homage to the Turks that came before, I'd be like, yo, like we got to beat this guy up or something. You know what I'm saying? That's how other cultures move. Like,
and like
that's the thing. We could all empathize with Marlon's point. You know what I mean? It's just weird how it devolved into something bigger than what he was saying.
But the reason why it devolved is the way they responded. If they said like, yo, Marlon, we see your point, we just rate the culture, you know what I mean? So like we're just trying to like do our thing.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have kind of went over better than
became,
like,
who's this? Who's this guy?
You know, like, oh, Marlon, you're a waste. You. No one knows this guy. It's like, okay,
yeah.
So put the brakes on, buddy.
That's true.
What it became is, why are you bringing race into this? What does it have to do with race? I feel like that's the only point they heard.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, what do you mean? It's because we're brown. Like everyone talks like this, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I actually have. So I have a decent question. I think like, do you guys think that like a black African should be more allowed to speak in the quintessential Toronto slang than a Indian Caribbean?
Do me a quick favor while you're here and smash that like button so we can break the algorithm, and join the comment gang and subscribe. It's free. Good question. Because there's some black Africans, me half Ghanaian myself, like I use a lot of Jamaican slang. A lot. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time, but I use a lot of Jamaican slang because I'm here in Toronto. Am I appropriating? I asked this on my live stream. I'm half Bajan. I'm not using Bajan slang. I'm using Jamaican slang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe I should say Indo-Jamaican. Yeah.
Right? Salute to DJ Snoopy. Right? Not Jamaican. One of the biggest dance hall DJs in the city.
Yeah, facts.
No, there's a couple of people here and there who are like, you ain't even Jamaican. But that's like far and few in between.
Right.
Nobody ever says, yo, Snoopy, why are you talking like that?
Yeah.
You're not Jamaican.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was African.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
Most parents don't
Ghanaian.
What's the difference? I don't know. Okay, as a non-black person
I'm
here,
not asking what's the difference. Like I'm
saying
asking
who's more
allowed?
I think anyone
who's more quote unquote
from the
allowed.
city.
anyone from the city is quote unquote allowed to have a Toronto slang because you're from Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that the problem is like, for me, the only problem was how they responded to it still, you know, because I see people bastardizing it, like even like big up Faith with the jokes, you know what I mean? Like, but she be going crazy with the Toronto slang in her content, but it's obvious skits and people know that she's obviously joking, you know? So
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's the big difference.
We
Thanks
love
for
hip
watching.
hop.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.